New Hope schools had more than 50% of students not show up to school today after a threatening social media post on Sunday night. The high school alone had more than 600 absentees. I'm Jory Talley, and I'll have that story.
WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening. We begin tonight with the latest developments in the social media threat against New Hope School. At least 8 people have been interviewed as persons of interest in that case so far. Federal and state agents, along with Lowndes County deputies, are conducting the investigation. Other potential suspects will be interviewed. All are believed to be juveniles. At least one threat was made on Facebook and started making the social media circles on Sunday. No arrest has been made. Sheriff Mike Arledge says information has been requested from Facebook. He also does not believe there is a legitimate threat at this time. However, there will be increased security at all Lowndes County schools in the coming days and weeks. The social media threat leaves many New Hope parents and students on edge today, fearing for their safety. Classrooms at the school had about 75% fewer students than normal today. Our Jory Talley joins us live with more. Jory?
There have been a number of threats and alleged threats across the state and across the area. New Hope is just the latest. New Hope High School Principal Matt Smith says this is the lowest attendance he's seen in his 25 years in education.
You just never know nowadays. You just really never know.
The unknown and threats on social media lead parents and students to make tough choices about how safe they feel in school. These halls here at New Hope High School are usually packed with students exchanging classes. But today, these halls are a lot quieter. Only 170 students out of 800 went to class. For example, there are 25 students normally sitting in these desks. Monday, there were only 4.
Probably 3/4 of our students stayed out today, but you know, we still had school. So I understand the apprehension by parents and want them to know that we follow every possible protocol we can to ensure their student safety.
New Hope High parent Charlotte Thomas is one of the parents who sent her son to school on Monday morning.
We got a phone call last night alerting us of the social media post, and it was good information to have, and I just felt comfortable sending him on to school.
Bianca Taylor's brother is one of the many high schoolers who stayed home.
Nobody wants to take a chance of it and somebody seriously getting hurt. It's hard to decide whether it's just a threat or if they're actually just playing around. In today's world, you can't take that chance.
Principal Matt Smith says at least 2 school buses did not pick up a single student on their route Monday morning.
Parents are allowed 4 per semester where they can write a note to excuse an absence for their child. If they haven't used all 4, they can use one of those. If they have, it will be an unexcused absence.
Smith reminds parents that the school district works closely with the Lowndes County Sheriff's Department every day to ensure student safety. Reporting live here at the Sheriff's Department, Jory Talley, WCBI News.
All right, thanks, Jory. Today's threat could cost the Lowndes County School District several $1,000s. Average daily attendance accounts for a large chunk of the district's funding each school year. Superintendent Lynn Wright says school attendance needs to be in the 90th percentile each day, and that it's critical when attendance drops to less than 50%.
Right now, we're paid on the average daily attendance. So if students are absent, if you're averaging 60% on that day, you just get paid for 60% of the students.
The threat also costs the Lowndes County Sheriff's Department with increased patrols at all schools in the county. Columbus Police will be seen more often on school campuses the rest of the year. The decision comes after the recent threats. The increased presence includes a walkthrough of the campuses by officers, giving assistance to school resource officers and other security measures at the Columbus Municipal School District buildings. Mayor Robert Smith says the city is committed to student safety.
When it comes to safety and safety for our kids, is that you can't put a dollar amount on safety. So we're not worried about what it's gonna cost. As long as the kids feel safe at school, then we're not worried about the dollar amount.
Police encourage people to report anything suspicious they see on social media. The New Hope threat had a ripple effect across the state line as well. There was an increased security presence at all 3 schools in Lamar County. Some schools do have officers on hand each morning on a regular basis. Superintendent of Education Vance Herron says no threats have been made against any school in the district. If that were to occur, Herron says the incident would be investigated and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Time now to turn things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. He joins us with a first look at your forecast.
Joey, all quiet across our region right now. A live look in Vernon, Alabama at Durham's Pharmacy. We can see clear conditions. Temperatures already beginning to cool down into the low 60s and 50s across our region here on our Monday evening. So things are actually looking pretty good across our area. Temperatures are currently in this ballpark. We get down into the upper 30s tonight. How about that, upper 30s? We're not done with the rain, though. It is coming back. We have several more inches that are possible later this week, Joe, if you can believe that. More in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks a lot, Keith. Tupelo residents can now use water as they normally would now that a water main break is contained. According to the city, road failure on Highway 178 at Moorville has caused a 36-inch water line to break. The line is maintained by Northeast Mississippi Regional Water Supply District. As repairs were made, water was shut off to the area. The city says the leak has since been fixed. Normal water usage can resume. Now, as we just showed you, a portion of Highway 178 is closed after a landslide causes that major damage. WCBI's Allie Martin has more on how this landslide could impact businesses.
This westbound lane of Highway 178 near Moorville shows the aftermath of the landslide. Huge cracks in the asphalt and massive dips in the road.
This one is a substantial slide that will take more work.
Matt Dunn is MDOT's Assistant District Engineer over Maintenance. He was called out to this section of 178 Sunday after a motorist said the road looked broken. Dunn and his team discovered the landslide on a steep slope just north of the highway. The decision was made to close a portion of the road.
We have the road blocked on our traffic alerts from Highway 371 to Treetop Lane. But basically the road that's actually closed is right here at the slide.
Pressure from the ground, saturated from heavy rains, could have caused the soil to wash out from under the asphalt, and that likely put enough pressure on a 36-inch water line, causing a leak in the pipe that serves Tupelo. Crews from the Northeast Mississippi Regional Water Supply District were on scene for that repair.
This type pipe has a real good service life and been utilized places, in some cases 100 years is not uncommon. There's no break in the pipe. This just appears when whatever causes ground to move a little bit, pulled a section of pipe loose from the other pipe it was stuck into.
Although it's a relatively small portion of 178 that shut down, it does impact traffic and possibly local businesses. That's why the workers at Tin Top Grill hope repairs are made as quickly as possible.
It's been a little slower today, but not bad. There's still several ways to get here from Tupelo.
The water line was repaired by the end of the day. It will take longer for MDOT engineers to determine how best to fix the damaged roadway. In Lee County, I'm Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Now, only 4 homes are impacted by this landslide. Alternate routes for drivers include Old 178 and Interstate 22. A vote by Starkville aldermen is now moving from the boardroom to the courtroom. We have more when we come back. Welcome back, everyone. Mississippi's Republican primary is possibly set to become a much more interesting affair this November. State Senator Chris McDaniel says he may challenge Senator Roger Wicker for his seat. This isn't McDaniel's first run for the Senate. In 2014, he lost in the primary to Senator Thad Cochran. McDaniel plans to hold an event Wednesday in his hometown of Ellisville in Jones County, one day before the deadline to qualify. It's likely that's when he'll announce his intentions to run. A federal lawsuit claims hostility towards the LGBT community is the sole reason Starkville aldermen denied a request for a pride parade to be held in the city. Noted civil rights attorney Roberta Kaplan says in the filing that Starkville Pride met every requirement in its permit application. The suit, which was filed today, says essentially each of the 88 parade permits requested since 2010 have been approved. It also points out that during the discussion with the public before the vote, every comment centered on the sexual orientation of the organizers, and no questions about logistics or costs to the city were asked. Kaplan says Alderman Carver, Perkins, Little, and Vaughn all voted against the permit, but no comments were made during the open debate. The suit wants the city to reverse its decision, and if that doesn't happen in a timely manner, it wants a federal judge to grant an injunction allowing the March 24th parade to take place. Economic developers are closely watching the alderman's decision to deny the parade. They believe it could impact the city's economy. At today's Rotary Club meeting, Link CEO Joe Max Higgins was talking about Starkville's industrial park development. The newly sited industrial park is preparing for the business Starkville looks to bring in the future. Even though the location is good for business, companies also look at everything around that location before a decision is made.
Within a community itself, things like education, healthcare, quality of life are all huge dynamics that corporations look for when they're looking to move to a new location. We want to make sure that any organization knows we're here to support, and the community as a whole, I think, is here to support everyone equally and provide opportunities for everyone within our community.
The park is slated to open in 2019.
Skies are clear this evening. We're going to be down into the low 30s or upper 30s. For the first time in what seems like forever. But look at the moon shining overhead tonight. Nice to see that now that we've got the clouds thin out for a little bit, but that won't last. Full forecast.
Your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
You know, last week was very warm around here. Columbus, we actually had 5 new record highs established last week from the 19th through the 24th. Look at that, low to mid 80s across the board. In Starkville, how about 4 record highs in the low 80s? And we can't forget about Tupelo. We squeezed in 1 record. You were warm, but not record warm for most of those days, but we did establish 1 record there in the 21st. So speaking of Tupelo, we actually have a record wet February. So not only was it warm, we've actually had a lot of rain in Tupelo. Almost 12 inches of rain, the wettest February on record as of today. And we're going to add more rain here before the month is done. But the buds are popping. Spring has sprung across our region with all the moisture and all that sunshine we had today. Things are looking better and better. Nice to see the sun. The clouds and the showers down here to our southwest, they'll be back in here later on tomorrow and tomorrow night. Tonight, we're looking at clear and cool conditions overall. Areas of fog certainly possible here. Temperatures will be down into the upper 30s. Let's go back and check out our zone forecast for the northern part of our coverage area. Tupelo 69, Aberdeen 70, 68 in Pontotoc, so some upper 60s for you. Some spots down into the low 70s like Columbus and Philadelphia, 72 in Winona, give or take here, and into West Alabama too, likely more in the way of low 70s, more morning sun, more clouds in the afternoon. We have a flood watch already in effect starting tomorrow evening for northern parts of Mississippi. We may see a good swath of 1 to 3+ inches of rain, if not more, as we go throughout the next 2 days here between tomorrow evening and Thursday. Here's Futurecast. Not a lot going on for tonight. Tomorrow morning we should start out with a lot of sunshine. Clouds build on in. Rain and storms tomorrow night. That will be wave number 1. And some additional heavier showers and thunderstorms possible Wednesday evening, Wednesday night, even into Thursday morning too. Cannot rule out an isolated strong storm or two as we get into Wednesday night or Thursday morning. Hail, wind, the main threat there. And don't forget we're programming weather radios again Wednesday at Walgreens and Amory 4 to 6. Here's our 7-day forecast. Pretty mild in the near term. Again, tomorrow morning should be okay. By the evening, our rain chances really go up. Could be wet here Tuesday night through Thursday. Gorgeous weather Friday and Saturday. Tons of sun. Much cooler, though. Low 60s and 30s at night.
All right, thanks, Keith. Coming up, what does the Mississippi State men's basketball team need to do in order to get into the big dance? We'll find out and hear from the Bulldogs next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Robbie Donahoe is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Howell and Gillum Trophy finalists announced today. These are the awards given out to the best men's and women's college basketball players in Mississippi. For the men, Nick and Quindary Weatherspoon of MSU finalists, along with Cortez Mitchell. For the women, all Bulldogs. Tierra McCowan, Blair Schaefer, Victoria Vivians. The winners will be announced Monday, March 5th. Well, to men's basketball, every game since that loss to Vanderbilt has been big for Mississippi State's hopes of getting into the NCAA tournament. But tomorrow night against Tennessee, it's the largest opportunity to bolster a resume that needs another quality win. The Bulldogs hope they can get the win and open the eyes of the selection committee in the process.
I hope that one of the factors that they used to always talk about is how you're playing lately, and you look at your last third and the eye test, actually watching games. People on the committee are watching games every night. I mean, that's their job. It's not just the numbers, it's also actually looking and watching and seeing how teams are playing.
I feel like we deserve to be in this opportunity because of how hard we worked and just the progression that we've shown over the last 2 to 3 years. So it's a great feeling to be right here.
Now the numbers are looking better for MSU. These may be a little confusing, but RPI, it's good and better for MSU. You want that probably in the 50s. The KenPom number, that is an analytical statistic from Ken Pomeroy that takes in the teams that you played along with the predictive analysis of who you're playing in the future and who you could be beating. That's a great number for MSU. That number, the non-conference schedule number, that's really what's going to hold back MSU in the future. 303 is not good. But 4 wins against the RPI top 50 and 7 against the RPI top 100. A win over Tennessee would go a long way for the Bulldogs and their resume. So that game will be tomorrow night, 6 p.m. You can watch the game on the SEC Network. Ole Miss will be in Lexington on Wednesday, and then Saturday, MSU down Baton Rouge, Vanderbilt at Ole Miss. SEC women's basketball tournament starts Wednesday. Ole Miss will have the later afternoon game when they take on Florida. Mississippi State's first game won't be until Friday when they take on the Kentucky-Alabama winner. That'll be a noon tip-off time. All these games, by the way, will be on the SEC Network. It's college baseball now. We're 2 weekends into the season. We're starting to feel some things out with our teams in the SEC, but the Southeastern Conference continues to show they're the toughest conference in the country. 5 of the top 10, the newest D1 baseball top 25, are from the SEC. You see South Alabama, Southern Miss are at 15-16, Mississippi State at 21-22. Ole Miss still holding strong, by the way, at number 9. Rebels remain undefeated. By the way, Bulldogs in action tonight against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. And lastly, over to Nettleton earlier this morning. Nettleton native, former Georgia standout, 13-year NFL vet Jason Ferguson was recognized with a commemorative sign in his hometown. Ferguson played football at Nettleton, graduated in 1993, went on to play at ICC before his time at Georgia. He was selected in the 7th round of the '97 NFL Draft by the New York Jets, then played for the Dallas Cowboys before finishing up his career in 2010 with the Miami Dolphins. Ferguson also holds his annual football camp each summer in Nettleton and cherishes the honor his hometown bestowed upon him today.
It's a big honor, man. It's a big-time deal for me. I try to represent myself well, and I hope that I represent well for my hometown. So I think I have since they gave me a sign. So it's very a blessing.
Yeah, we always get the opportunity to check out his football camps that he has every summer. It's fantastic. It's great. He's done so much for his hometown. So congratulations, Jason. That's great stuff. Right there.
Yeah, great honor.
Yeah.
That's perfect. All right, thanks so much, Roger. We'll be right back.
All right, here's our 7-day forecast. Tomorrow during the daylight hours, Joey, we're looking okay here. Mild temperatures, but rain tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, Wednesday, Thursday. You know the drill. There could be some stronger storms in there, too. But by Friday and Saturday, we will be rewarded with a lot of sunshine again.
Oh, we need it.
Oh, we do. And today's a nice little drying day, but it's not going to last, as you just saw there.
Yeah, and I was serious earlier when I said it feels like we're going to start growing gills.
Now be careful what you wish for.
I know. This is true. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone.